Hello everybody, this is Hammer Striker here. Today we've got quite a few things on the table, but really the guest of honor here is the Vortex Venom red dot that you see on this PPQ SF. So we're going to talk about the red dot itself, some of the things it comes with, and how easy it is to shoot this gun well, and presumably any other gun that you might want to put this on, with the Vortex Venom. It's really a nice red dot. It's got a lot of cool features, and it really worked well. We pulled some really tight groups very easily with this. So let's talk about what comes with it. Of course, it does come with the red dot. It comes with a Picatinny rail plate. It's Picatinny/Weaver, so this will work on either. And it's removable. So when you remove it, the bottom of the red dot becomes flush. It does come with some screws in a kit. See if I think it's kind of washing out. This little sticker, I got it turned around, that's why. It's set up to also work with the Glock MOS because Glock has chosen to make theirs a little bit different how it works in the multiple different adapter plates. So it does work with any of the Glock MOS guns, as well as you can see, this PPQ. And it comes with a cleaning cloth for cleaning the inevitable fingerprints off the glass that you're going to get. And it comes in a box that's actually kind of well labeled. So on the side you've got all the specs and features. From a pricing standpoint, this one was priced at $264.99. MSRP is $329, but you can get them as low as $199. We ended up getting this one for as low as $199. So prices in there probably $200 to $250 is what you might expect to pay. They picture it on an AR, which of course you can put it on an AR, but it's low profile enough and light enough at 1.05 ounces to work on any pistol that is MOA or as MOS compliant. So, the PPQ, XDM's come out with a Optics Ready series, so there's quite a few guns out there now that have the Optics Ready. And, of course you don't do a whole lot with the box, but a lot of cases the boxes don't tell you much. This box, actually, you pick this up, it tells you everything you could possibly want to know. Basically, the website is on the box. From a spec standpoint, first of all, because we have a pistol here, we do have an unloaded PPQ SF. But from a spec standpoint on this, the length of it is 1.9 inches long front to back. And you're going to find that it's going to fit into this cutout slot that you're going to find in the various slides. Most of the micro red dots have kind of standardized on a overall size pattern so that they can get on the major pistols. Glock kind of started it with the mainstream optics ready guns available to the general public, and many other manufacturers are following suit. It's 1.02 inches tall at the front from the base to the top, and that's not counting the Picatinny rail, that's just the optic itself. If you put the Picatinny rail on there, it raises it up a little bit. And there are adapters such as a riser adapter available for raising it up even further if you needed to, let's say on an AR or something like that. The thickness of it at the back part is 0.41 inches. And the width is 1.11 inches wide, which gives you a very nice large window. And I've got the dot turned on. Now trust me, the dot doesn't look that fuzzy and that bad. The dot is very, very crisp and sharp. Cameras really just don't do well with red dots. That's something that our eyes do far better than any kind of camera. This is a high-end camera, but they just don't like red dots. What you're going to see with your own eye is a very crisp, very sharp dot that centers well and is quite easy to see. And as on the PPQ, as with most of the MOS or optics ready type pistols, the rear sight comes off or becomes inaccessible when you put a red dot on it. On a Glock, the sight would be kind of about that high. There is a crude set of notches on the back that are meant to be used as a crude sight, but it doesn't really easily co-witness. When you line it up and you've got it right, the front sight kind of disappears. It's really just a backup sight so that you can get a decent idea of what it is you're trying to hit. Now I know on a lot of the rifle platforms, co-witnessing your red dot and your iron sights is a positive thing people do. But keep in mind, on a rifle, you're trying to have a fixed cheek weld, fixed position, so that that's not necessarily a difficult thing to do. On a pistol, not only is co-witness kind of impractical, it's actually undesirable. The whole key to shooting a red dot on a pistol well is to completely ignore the sights. Because to use the sights on a pistol, you've got to line up the front sight, the rear sight, the target, your arm, your eyes, all have to be in a perfect line. And the concept behind a red dot is If the dot's on the target, regardless of whether or not it's aligned with your face, you're on target. So you can quickly, that's the thing that gives you quick target acquisition with a red dot, is you snap it up, and if you can see the dot, you just put the dot on the target. You don't have to go through the time it takes to line your face up. If you start trying to use the sights at the same time you're using the red dot, you're either going to miss or you're going to slow down. So, consider those on a pistol anyway, consider that just to be a backup sighting system. The window on this is quite large. And it's well shrouded and protected, so you're not going to snap it off easily. But it does give you really good, easy target acquisition. You can pretty much find the dot anywhere in there. And as long as the dot's in the middle 3/4 or so of the screen, you're not going to have a parallax issue. As you get out to the very far edges, you can start to run into some parallax where you may not be as on target as you think so. But if you got it in that middle 3/4, you're going to pretty much be good to go. From an adjustment standpoint, it has windage and elevation adjustments. You'll see them on the sides there. And the concept behind that is it does 1 MOA increments. So it's a 3 MOA dot, which it doesn't look like that on the camera, but that's a 3 MOA dot, which is actually a pretty nice dot for a pistol use, and still a very usable dot for a rifle. And you can go in 1 MOA increments up or down with a total travel of 150 MOA for elevation and 100 MOA for windage. So there's quite a bit of adjustment in the event that, for example, it's a little too tall for your pistol or something like that. Now the other thing that you probably want to show you is the front end of it. It is a coated optic, it is anti-reflective, and of course you're looking at it saying, I don't see much in the anti-reflective. Number one, I found out that it's dirty, and two, it's under the studio lights. So I'm going to give it a quick clean. It's under very powerful studio lights, so it is going to reflect. But in the practical world, you're going to get minimal reflection, and you're not going to have ambient light or things around you reflecting off it. But you're also not generally going to be pointing it directly at 1,000 watts worth of studio lighting. And by the way, I did reread my notes, and I misstated the elevation travel. It's 130, not 150. But it's still a significant amount of adjustment. On a pistol, you're unlikely to use that much adjustment, but on a rifle, depending on what risers you've needed to use and the distance between your bore axis and where you've got the red dot, that travel can definitely come into play. Makes this suitable for pretty much any rifle as well as any pistol that you can mount it on. In addition to an anti-reflective coating, it's also an anti-scratch coating, though I'm sure if you went at it with a wire brush or something like that, it would scratch. But the general insults that it's likely to take in its day-to-day activities, it's really going to be resistant to being scratched. And it is water resistant. The battery has an O-ring on it that will block out water. I don't think it's necessarily designed to be submerged, but if you're out in unpleasant weather, you're getting wet, it's getting wet, it can tolerate that. It uses a CR1632 battery, and it does come with one, so you take it out of the box, you're ready to go. That's not one of the most common batteries, but they are readily available. I mean, you can get pretty much anything you want on Amazon. And you can see there's the two screws that mount it at the rear, and at the front there's 2 pins. So this is the actual retention, and the 2 pins at front will keep it from wiggling back and forth or being out of alignment. So it does fit well. I mean, mounting it on this gun was as easy as dropping it in, screwing it down, and away it went. And then it actually was pretty well zeroed right from the start. And with a bore laser, you got it zeroed in here before we left, and we're on paper and bullseye in it with a few clicks once we were at the range. So it was really easy to set up. Now it does have some nice features. One of the features it has is an auto mode. If you hold the up button down until it flashes 3 times, the dot will flash 3 times, it goes into an auto mode. And what that auto mode does is sets the brightness of the dot based on ambient lighting. And we found it did a pretty good job of decision making. So the choice it made for the lighting we were in was pretty optimal. And it does have a cool feature that if you put the cover on it, or put it into a safe, in anything where it's in total darkness, in auto mode it'll shut off. And as soon as it's exposed to light, it'll turn back on. But one of the things you're probably going to find with this is if you look at this, it's got these little flanges that sit down. This thing is basically rubber, and they're little clips. And they clip on the base of the reticle at the front and the rear. There's a little cutout. And Of course, you can't get to that cutout because it's dropped down into the slide. So you're going to find that the cover really won't work well on a pistol, especially if it sits down into the slide like this and some of the others. If it sits on top of the slide or you've got it on the Picatinny mount like on a rifle, it'll work well. I suppose it does have a bit of friction, so it's kind of sticking on there a little bit. You could theoretically cut these little flanges off and just put it on as a dust cover. But then, of course, on a rifle where it tends to get treated a little bit rougher, you'd probably fall off and lose it. If you hold the up arrow until it flashes 2 times, then it's manual mode. And with the up and down arrows, you can go through 10 levels of brightness adjustment. And if you hold down the down arrow, it will turn it off. So you can actually manually power it down if you're unable to use this. Now theoretically, I could put it in the safe with it just sitting on there, and that would make it dark, and it would, the auto mode would still shut it off. So it's got some very cool features. A lot of adjustable flexibility. The dot did not flare really bad when you went to the highest level. And one of the things you'll see with these is the dot gets bigger as you turn up the brightness because it tends to flare a little bit. Some of them, I've seen the inexpensive ones at the highest brightness, the dot just completely flares out and becomes just this big fuzzy cotton puff. This dot did get bigger, but it didn't become unusable or ragged edged even on the brightest setting. And on the lower settings, if you set it as low as you can go and still see it, it's a very, very crisp pinpoint dot that lets you very easily choose exactly where you want to put the hole. Overall, we've been very impressed with this. We took it to the range with a number of people that do not have experience with a red dot. I've used a red dot for quite a while. I've got one on my Glock 40. I've got one at 45 degrees on my Tavor hunting rifle. So, I'm very familiar with red dots. We took this out and let some people who had no familiarity with red dots use it. And, the one guidance I always give everybody is ignore the sights. The sights don't exist. Find the dot, put the dot where you want the hole. Consciously ignore the sights. And when they did that, they were pulling, bullseyes or A-ring within the first few shots. It's just really easy with that large window and clear, crisp dot to pick up your target acquisition, get the hole where you want it to go. If you're looking for a red dot to put on, whether you're going to put it on a pistol or a rifle, you're going to find that this is a good choice, and it's a really reasonable price. I've seen some of these go up $500-600 or up. You get all of the features that you're going to get in some of those more expensive ones at a very reasonable price in a very durable package that actually looks nice. It doesn't look clunky or bulky. It's a nice looking gun, or I'm sorry, a nice looking red dot, and it comes with a lifetime unconditional warranty. Now, it says unconditional. I did read the manual, and it does list a few conditions, such as deliberate abuse or misuse or loss. But overall, if the thing fails and it doesn't look like you've dragged it behind a truck, they're going to cover it under the warranty. Hopefully, we don't have to take advantage of that feature, but it's nice to know that it's there. So when you take your Q5 SF, whether you're going to run with the extended mag or the flush mag, or your Glock, or your XDM optic ready, SIG's got a few optic ready guns. All of them are good candidates for this, and you can have a lot of fun. It's also very useful on a defensive weapon. This isn't really the best choice for a defensive weapon. It's big and heavy and bulky, but there are many guns out there, Glock 19 MOS for example, that you could put this on that actually would fit in your holster and be a good choice. So if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, check us out on Facebook and Patreon. Thank you to our Patreon and YouTube subscribers for supporting the channel. Thank you.